Here is Kobe Music Arena, and this is the second edition of our tutorials on Rudiments of Music Theory. Last week we talked about the staff and notes and the clefs. Today we are moving to our third and fourth topics. Still reminding you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Kobe Music Arena, Kobe Music Arena, and stay tuned there. Don't forget, we are going to give you 1 or 2 topics on Rudiments of Music Theory each and every weekend. And by the time we finish with all the topics under Rudiments of Music Theory, you get to understand all you need to know about music or about the basis of music. So we are moving to our third topic. That's lines and spaces. Lines and spaces. As it was first mentioned in the previous topic, that is staff and notes, we get to know that the staff is a 5 series of horizontal lines with spaces in between. And we get to understand that not only the 5 series of horizontal lines are taken into consideration, but both the lines and the spaces are taken into consideration. And specific names are given to these lines and spaces. Specific names are given to these lines and spaces. The first 7 alphabets, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, that's the first 7 alphabets, are used to represent notes and pitches on the lines and spaces. So the lines and spaces are named before the first 7 alphabets, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And lines and spaces are named differently on each staff. That is, on the treble staff, these alphabets are arranged differently, and differently on the alto staff, and another difference on the bass staff. So let's get to know how these lines and spaces are named on each staff. We are considering or emphasizing much on the treble and bass staff. Okay, so on the treble staff, this is how lines and spaces are arranged or are named. The first line from the bottom, the first line is E. It is named E. The first space, that is the space from the space above the first line, is named F. The second line is G. The second space above the second line is A. The third line B, then C, D, E, F. So it continues like that. Or the most important thing you need to know is the first line is E, then it continues with F, G, then A, B, C, D, E, F. Alright, so we first said the first 7 alphabets are used to name the lines and spaces. So when it reaches G or it gets to G, it will start over from A. So all that you need to do, or the most important thing you need to do, is remember or memorize this first line. You get to know that the first line for the treble clef is E, and you get to know that the second line, the second or the first space above the first line will be F. Then it will continue on to G, then A, B, C, D, E, F. So from E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Then it will continue like that. So we'll get to understand this first line, the name of this first line. It will help you to know or remember all the names for the other lines and the spaces. Okay. And on the bass clef, the first line is G. The first line is G. Then the first space above the first line is A, then B, then C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay, so when you understand or remember that the first line for the bass staff is G, you get to know that it will continue with A, then to B, to C, to D, E, F, G, and it will get back to A. It will continue just like that. So for you to understand it or remember it very easily, we are going to use some words to stand for the names of the lines, and we will do same to the spaces. For the lines, the first line is E, the second line is G, the third line is B, the fourth is D, the fifth is F. So we will use some words that start with the names of the lines to represent the lines for you to remember it very easily. So the first line will be every, the second line good for G, the third line boy for B, the fourth das for D, and the last line fine for F. So every good boy does fine, every good boy does fine, every good boy does fine. For you to remember the lines, the names of the lines very easily. So every for E, good for G, boy for B, does for D, fine for F. So every good boy does fine. You can also use every good boy deserves fudge. Every good boy deserves fudge. You can also use your own words for the namings of the lines and spaces. Some other people also use every good boy deserves favor, and all of them serve the same purpose. That's for you to remember it very easily. So every for E, then good for G, boy for B, dash for D, and fine for F. That is the namings for the lines, for the treble lines. The treble lines, alright? Okay, lines of the treble staff. Okay. So here is the namings for the spaces of the treble staff. The spaces of the treble staff. The first one is F, the second one is A, the third space C, and the fourth space E. And simply it spells face. Face, F-A-C-E, face. So when you remember face, you get to know that it is for the spaces of the treble clef. The treble clef. Okay. So F-A-C-E, face. Let's move to the bass staff. For the bass staff. For the bass staff, we know that the first line is G, the second line is B, the third line D, the fourth B, and the fifth A. So we will use good boys do fine always. Good boys do fine always. Good boys do fine always. Some people can also use good boys deserve fudge always. Some others can use good boys deserves favor always. And as I first said, all serve the same purpose. For you to understand it or remember it very easily. So good boys do fine always. On the bass staff, the lines of the bass staff, the lines of the bass staff. Let's get to the spaces of the bass staff. A, C, E, G. The spaces are A, C, E, G. Always, all cows eat grass. All cows eat grass. All cows eat grass. And you get to remember the spaces of the bass staff very easily. All cows eat grass. Others also use always cows eat grass. Always cows eat grass. And all of them, it will help you to remember it very easily. You also can use your own words to stand for these letters. And the main issue is you can remember it anytime, anywhere. So, and these things must be on your fingertips because it will help you to read any music score. We are finished with the lines and spaces. We are moving to the fourth topic, that's ledger lines. Ledger lines. We already know that the staff comprises of 5 series of horizontal lines and 4 spaces in between. But notes or pitches can be higher or lower than the range of the staff. Notes or pitches can be higher or lower than the range of the staff. That's the 5 series of horizontal lines with 4 spaces. The notes can be higher or lower than that range. So in a case like that, when notes are higher or lower than the range of the staff, smaller horizontal lines are placed below or above the range of the staff for that nose, and these smaller lines are called ledger lines. When nodes are higher or lower than the range of the staff, smaller horizontal lines are placed above or below the range of the staff, and these lines are called ledger lines. Let's look some example of ledger lines. All right, so these are examples of ledger lines. This is a ledger line, a small horizontal line. Okay, a small horizontal line. They are called ledger lines, and these lines are placed either above or below the range of the staff. Okay, so when placing these ledger lines, you first consider the space above the fifth line or the space below the first line. Then you place your ledger line. Then you consider another space, you place your ledger lines. You consider another space, place the ledger line, then it will continue. Okay, so here is it. And on the treble staff, we learned that the first line is E. It is E. So when placing the ledger lines, it will continue whether ascending or descending alphabetically. Okay, so from E you descend to what? D, then to C, then B. When it continues, we will add A. We will continue like that. Don't forget that we use only the first 7 alphabets. That is A to G. Only the first 7 alphabets. When it reaches G, we start over from A. Okay, so it happens like that. The same thing applies here. The fifth line is F, so the space above will be G, A, then B, C. It will continue like that. And on the base staff, the first line is G, so it will descend alphabetically like that. F, E, then it will come to D, C. It will continue. And here the fifth line is A, the space above will be B, then C, we move to D, E. Okay, so we will continue just like that. Okay, so this is how we place ledger lines above or below the range of the 5 series of horizontal lines. Okay, these are called ledger lines. All right, so this is all what we are to learn today. We know what a ledger line is and how the ledger lines are placed on the staff, and we also know how lines and spaces are arranged in each or on each staff. How lines and spaces are arranged on the treble staff, how line spaces are arranged on the bass staff, and how lines and spaces are arranged on the alto staff. Okay, so next week we'll continue with the other topics. All right, we'll move to the next topic next week. Stay tuned and subscribe to this channel, Kobe Music Arena. Thank you for watching.